Well, for one thing, I use a lot of numbers. I use a lot of charts and data, and it shapes sort of my whole training philosophy. You've got to know your hours. You've got to know every single hour that you're dedicated to training has to have a purpose. It cannot just be running or cycling or swimming for the heck of it. It's just a deliberate lifestyle choice that you have to make that says, you know, my mornings are my time for this whole year. You know, you just don't let anything get in that way. So I'm a geek athlete. I'm gonna go with that. I was a completely different person physically. I was overweight, 16 kilos heavier, 4 inches on the waistline, round face. And in 2008, AirAsia sponsored the first inaugural Borneo Marathon. And we sent a team and I signed up for the 10K. To me, that was insane to be able to just kind of like huff and puff and try to complete that 10K race. But when I was there and I saw for the first time in my life, grandmothers and grandfathers completing a 42-kilometer marathon, and you can just see the sheer joy in their faces at the finish line. And that same bulb that, you know, made me go, I want to be the best frisbee player, that just went on, and I said, I've got to do that. You know, and I really wanted to change and do it. It's a battle of inches. It's a battle of feet and meters instead of kilometers. For 40 years I've avoided learning how to swim, 40 years of having this fear of water. But I was so intrigued again with that challenge. That same initial desire to run was now like, I just wanted to tackle it. So I signed up for my first swimming coach. It was with this woman in Bangsa, a small little pool in her backyard. And my first lesson was with 5-year-old girls. And after 6 months, I could still barely swim a lap. And I thought I was kind of ready just mentally. And I signed up for my first sprint distance triathlon. I think less than 30 meters into the water, completely freaked out, hyperventilated, and had to be rescued up. So back to the drawing board, got a second swim coach. I thought I made a lot of progress, and so I signed up for a race in Singapore. And again, right, that fear consumed me, and so another failure. But this time it really pissed me off, and that just fired me up even more. I said, okay, 2013, let's start one-on-one lessons in January 1. And I immediately signed up for an Ironman race in December. Because once you have a stake in the ground, right, you're like, I've got to do this, I can't fail. Because triathlons and Ironman triathlons require an immense amount of preparation, it just means you have to be extremely systematic, and that's where the data geek really came in, right? It also meant a lot of trade-offs. It meant being very specific, like road biking, absolutely no mountain biking. Running on the roads, absolutely no trail running, because they're different disciplines, right? And you gotta be extremely focused. It also meant giving up a lot of things, right? It meant really being in bed by 9 and making sure you fall asleep by 10 at the latest, because at 5 a.m. it's up and about. Lastly, it would be an incredibly lonely and intimidating journey if you tried to do this yourself. And I think that's the beauty of triathlon. So even the running community here in KL, even though it's an individual sport, it's an incredibly supportive community. You lean on each other, you exchange knowledge and information, you support each other, you train each other, and that makes all the difference.
It's really about growing the yoga community here in Malaysia. We felt like there was a yoga community already, but it wasn't growing as much as you want to see it. So I'm 27 years old and I work as a management consultant and a yoga teacher. So I started off yoga honestly just as a hobby.